April 2017 horoscopes. And guys, I don't want to over dramatize, but I believe this will be probably the most important month of the year, if not for a few years, because when I started looking at the astrology of April, I was a bit, overwhelmed, because we will have 4 planets becoming stationary, which means they're not going to be moving in the sky. It will look like they're staying in one place. And when a planet becomes stationary, it means it's changing direction. And I've never, since I've been doing videos in the last 6 years, I've never seen such a convergence of 4 planets at the same time, in the same month, changing direction. And when planets change their directions, they become 5 times stronger, and they become 5 times more likely to give big changes in life. And it's changing direction is like reversals in the directions and derailing of the train and starting on a different path. So it's going to be such a huge month, and I'm going to walk you through each of the planets, what it means for each of the signs. So bear with me, I think, because you have to watch this video, because it's going to be if you don't watch any other monthly video, watch at least April. And before I start, just wanted to tell you that from May, sometime in May, I'm starting a 6-month course in astrology, and every 2 weeks I'll be speaking about for 3-4 hours on a Sunday about each sign, starting with Aries, Taurus, what it means to have planets in Aries, what it means to have Aries in a certain house, what it means to have Aries ascendant, why Aries or Taurus or whatever sign you are, guys, what it means to have each sign. We're going to go in depth. We're going to start astrology 101, and even if you never learn anything else about astrology, but understand in depth each sign for the 3-4 hours that I'm going to do weekly, this is going to be enough for you to actually even predict for the people, because just knowing someone ascendant can help you see the fate and the money and the health and the career and the relationships and the love and the karma of a person just by knowing their ascendant sign. And I'll teach you how to see all of this. We're going into a really esoteric and astrology without needing to know any astrology. And if you subscribe for the whole course, which is 12 signs, you get it half price. If not, you can just get each one for $29, whichever sign you want to see. Taurus, April 2017. Guys, again, I say so many planets are changing direction, and I'm going to walk you through what it means for a planet to change direction. It's that it becomes 5 times stronger. Why is that? It's because while it's moving forward, it's leaving steps behind in the mud or whatever, or in the drying cement. And then when a planet stops, stationary means it stops. It looks from the sky like it stopped. It makes such a much bigger indentation in the drying cement. It becomes 5 times its gravity or impact in people's lives becomes 5 times stronger. So if before that you made little, when a planet is moving direct or in certain direction, when it's moving, you make small steps and indentations. And when a planet stops and stays almost like for a couple of weeks, it looks like it doesn't change its direction, you make a big hole here. So this is when we make the biggest impact in one's life. This is when the biggest changes, I've always noticed it. When planets are changing direction, people take the biggest decisions in their life, or people shift their perspective, and circumstances around shift in a powerful way, just like the planet is becoming stopped. And also, ancient astrologers give it as an example. Why is a stationary planet so much more powerful? Because it's like a person in meditation, that it's stopped and it's more calm and it's focused. And when a person is more calm and focused, he can achieve miracles. He can achieve amazing, powerful impact and imprint. But because some planets, we're not fully highly conscious, when a planet becomes stationary, sometimes it can cause, whether for better or worse, a big impact. And some more difficult planets can create more difficulty, and some more positive planets can create more, positive impact, so to speak. And let's see which planets are going retrograde, which are changing direction. And you're here, Taurus, and Saturn is going to go retrograde in your 8th house, Taurus. Saturn here in the 8th house in Sagittarius is becoming stationary, retrograde. So about the first 2 weeks of April, when this will be most intense. basically a week before Saturn changes direction, a week after he stays on the same degrees. Actually, Saturn stays at the 27th degree the whole April. So I would say the whole April you'll be shifting your you'll be changing your outlook, you'll be changing the circumstances, you'll be changing the direction of matters connected to mutual resources and money in your life. Money that you share with other people, money that comes to you through banks, money through loans, money that comes to you through your partner. Something will be shifting there. And also not only money, but some resources that you share with another person. Some, say you have clients, it might be their investments, it might be their some investments that you've made in someone else's business or something like that, that you've put in something that you're not just on your own, that the finances are not connected just to you, but they're connected either to someone else's business, someone else's property, someone else's resources, or maybe receiving any kind of resources for other people. There'll be a shift of change, you know. And also there will be 8th houses taxes, 8th houses insurances, 8th houses inheritances, taxes, insurances, inheritances. Something will be changing there. Something, or say alimony money that you might be expecting from someone, from a husband or from a wife, or compensation from a company, for example, that hasn't been paid to you. It's connected to other people. It's connected. It's not money that you have in your own disposal, which is in your 2nd house. Is money that's connected to either investment, somehow it's connected to others. Something will be shifting. Something will require more of your efforts for a few months ahead, but especially in April, to take some really important decisions that will change, hopefully for better in the future, your resources that are connected to others, your inheritances, your taxes in some way, and to reevaluate them in a more practical, in a more tangible, in a more realistic matter. And Saturn likes to crop the things that are no longer necessary. Saturn likes to chip away the things that are not working anymore. So something that's not working in regards to handle your mutual resources with your partner can be changed. Say for example, you can remove a bank account that you have together, or some source of income that comes to you through others, or some source of materials that you are sourcing out from somewhere has to be removed and reevaluated, because it might be too costly, or it might not be too healthy or productive for you, you know. Or say, imagine some clauses in your insurance can be changed. Some clauses will need to be in your inheritance, some clauses in your taxes, how you do your taxes. All of those things might need and you might be thinking strongly about them, and matters and matters around developments around those things will be very pronounced, and you might have to take some very important changes and decisions in regards to such matters. And because it's Saturn, they can feel more hefty, they can feel more like they burden you with more responsibility or duty. They might feel like you're being pressured from outside without desire to do it. But ultimately Saturn is the planet of minimalism, that wants to simplify things, that wants to make things, even if it has to reduce them, make them more smaller, it wants to make them more practical overall and more easy in the long term to manage, and less complicated. But initially you might have to put quite a lot of effort in regards to that. And another level, 8th house, is your intimacy and trusting others with your safety, with your love, with your intimacy, you know. And Saturn there can make you start shifting such kind of trust, maybe showing something more realistically in regards to who you can trust and why, who you can put your trust in, and can make you more doubtful as well towards others in intimacy, towards someone having your back, towards how much you trust someone having your back, and start reevaluating how much do you trust this person, this organization, this alliance to have your back, and is it equally contributing to you, or are you equally contributing to that alliance as fairly, basically. And Saturn is a very just planet, but it can create such conditions about if something is out of balance and it's not fair, because Saturn rules justice, is one of the planets that rules justice. And if something is out of kilt, Saturn, in regards to such kind of matters that we talked about, Saturn will start correcting them. And another planet that is going retrograde is Mercury, guys. And it's becoming stationary already. It's becoming retrograde basically from the 10th of April. But you're going to feel it a week before and a week after that is around the same degrees in Taurus. And it's in Taurus till the 20th, 21st of April. And that's especially the first, I would say from 0 to 8-9 degrees. People that, the first 10 degrees, let's say. It goes up to 4 degrees only, but as I said, when a planet becomes stationary and starts retrograding or changing direction, its influence expands much more, maybe up to 7 degrees more. So I would put like up from 1 to 10 degrees in Taurus. The first decan of Taurus, basically, Tauruses that are born in April will feel it the most. Or Tauruses that have their ascendant or their moon from 0 to 10 degrees in Taurus here. That Mercury goes retrograde there. So a big thing, you know, Mercury to go retrograde in your sign, it doesn't happen every year, guys. And it's about what happens usually, especially the early born, the April born Tauruses. But I would say all Taurus, they can feel the vibrational waves of Mercury going retrograde in your first house. It will bring very powerfully matters of Mercury into your life. So what does it mean? You might be asked to work on some project, which is Mercury, with all the skills that you possess. Mercury skills that you've acquired through learning, through whether it's knitting, whether it's writing essays, whether it's making a website, whether it's making a report, whether it's taking pictures, whatever skills you have. You might come to you in April in particular, that you have to work very hard, because retrograde and stationary planets are about putting 3 times more effort, but they give you 5 times more the power, because the planet becomes powerful. So they give you 5 times more the power of Mercury, the skill of Mercury to manage, to organize, to create business. Business is ruled by Mercury. All our skills, communications, writing, traveling. So something really important can be happening in regards to traveling here, guys, because Mercury is the planet of travel. Something very important can be happening in your life in regards to having to use the skills. I remember when I had Mercury retrograde in my ascendant sign over it exactly. This is when I was putting the final touches to a project that I had to come out. So I worked really hard editing it, correcting it, perfecting it, and then I released it. Not by plan, but when Mercury started moving direct, I wanted to release it before that. But Mercury went retrograde, so I had to put much more of my effort to perfect, which is what Mercury likes to do. Pay attention to dot the T's, cross the T's and dot the I's. This is Mercury, to pay attention to those details, to make them to perfection. And that's exactly what I had to do to perfect this project, to change it a little bit, to use all the skills of managing, marketing, organizing, publishing everything that I've learned in astrology for about 2-3 weeks that I was working on editing this project while Mercury was stationary and a part of when it was retrograde. You know, so it can give very good, as I said, a retrograde planet, when it turns direct after that by May, you can see really powerful positive results of the hard efforts that a stationary and retrograde planet asks you to put. And often this is when people make some of the most. So if you're Taurus, especially the first 10 degrees of Taurus, this is when you can make some of the most, and the other Tauruses as well, because it's the same sign. So vibrationally, it's like being in the same room. So it might be some of the most important time when you're working on something mercurial. Some project, some business initiative, some documents, some contract, something to do with business, something to do with a project, something to do with learning with learning skills, with communicating, with writing, with speaking. People from the past coming to you to connect to you, and this might be even romantic partners, because Mercury rules your 5th house in Virgo. So it brings the themes of 5th house into your sign, into your life. So something connected to romantically, or something in regards to love, and how you give and receive love, which is the 5th house, which comes back to you to be reevaluated, to be changed, to be seen from a different perspective, to be renewed maybe, or some creative projects that you have to use your skills in a very practical way, Taurus, to do them, to improve on it on some creative project or project that you're doing that comes back into your life with power that you need to put attention and focus on. Or maybe something to do with the life of your children that you have to help them with, that they are in a more intense period where they have to work hard on something, because 5th house rules children and Mercury rules it, and Mercury is retrograde in your sign. And what else? Mercury also rules your 2nd house, doesn't it? Gemini. So money. So it's kind of almost like also you might be asked to organize, to plan, to negotiate something better and longer and with more efforts that will change your financial direction for a long time ahead. That will change your personal resources as well, through the skills that you're using, through the communications that you're using, through the contacts that you're making, that impacts your financial situation. And something might be changing in regards to what you value, what you consider valuable, worth your time putting in. And because of that, you might be reshaping your whole face, in a sense, your whole image, which is the ascendant sign or sun sign or moon sign, Taurus. So changing, reshaping. Mercury stationary, going retrograde, you're changing something in regards to your whole personality, in regards to your whole approach to life, because somehow your values have changed, or your financial situation. You want to make changes for your financial situation, so you might be incorporating new skills and new incorporating efforts of Mercurial nature, much more intensely in April. And as we said, the Mercurial skills are all those communication, information, and blah blah. And then the last thing is Venus is going stationary direct in Pisces, which is your 11th house, from the middle of April. And it means that a week before the middle of April and a week after the middle of April, Venus is stationary in your 11th house. And Venus is you guys, because Venus rules Taurus. Venus rules you. So your planet becomes 5 times more powerful in the middle of April, and April basically. But I have to warn you, because Venus is making a difficult aspect with Saturn. It's a square aspect. I didn't do the chart well here, but it's like kind of a 90-degree aspects that they're connected with. And the whole April, Venus is around the 27, 28 degree, kind of the last few degrees of here, and Saturn is making square to it. And because you're Venus-ruled people, this puts you in a very serious state of mind most of April, in a very practical state of mind, in a state of mind that is more cautious, in a state of mind that is more traditional, in a state of mind that is more hardworking. That is the higher manifestation of Saturn. So I wish it for you. Making some really important decisions with your overall life and your overall direction in life. Venus rules Taurus, your 1st house. And your overall destiny, which can be very much also connected to the 8th house in some way, what resources, other people's resources, but just making some really important decisions and change in your life. Something is changing, something can be putting pressure on you to work harder. Saturn is a planet of working hard, putting a pressure on you to feel more down on yourself even, and to be more critical. There might be some authority figure of some sort that is raining down on you, or demanding more on you, for more self-discipline, for more hard work. Or it might be your own inner authority voice, which is Saturn, that is putting more pressure on you, how you present yourself, and how you and how you approach your overall life and the direction that you're taking. And even if you're feeling a bit more down, because Venus is in a difficult aspect with Saturn all the time, you have a lot of power, because Venus is stationary, about to turn direct. You have a lot of power to, like a meditating person, to create some big alchemical changes within you on a deep level of the soul, which will manifest in a material way, in an outer way as well. And these changes can impact overall also your 11th house. where Venus is becoming stationary direct, so something to do with your social life that changes in a big way, and your long-term goals that changes in a big way, and they start, for example, you decide to work much harder on your long-term goal, on some dream or goal of yours, which is the 11th house, or on achieving some goal like getting a membership to some group, becoming a member of some organization, 11th house, or becoming a reevaluating relationships, changing your goals and directions in life. And Saturn is putting pressure to take some important decisions and to put more serious approach and to put more responsibilities in regards to that area of your life, and to remove the things that are no longer necessary, because Saturn has this clipping influence. Saturn's symbol is the death with the scythe. You know, the scythe wants to cut what is dry and dead, and it will cut off many Tauruses, many things that are no longer necessary in your life, that are unrealistic in your life already. Especially in regards to your long-term goals, in regards to your social circle, in regards to your gains and earns as well. Gains is the 11th house. So Saturn wants to simplify that area of your life. So anyway, wow, what a big month. And Venus starts moving direct from the 15th of April. Maybe a week after that, you start feeling like things start moving again in a more easy, not such intense pace, lighter. But the big decisions are taken around the middle of April, while Venus is changing direction, and the resolutions start to come a week after Venus starts turning direct, for you to see the results of those hard efforts you've put. So thank you very much, Taurus. Wow, what a month. And I mean, so many things, so many areas of your life will be affected. I didn't even mention half of them. I didn't even mention that Pluto is also going retrograde, the Lord of your 7th house of relationships. So big shift in regards to your relationships, in the direction and the change of winds, in regards to your business partnership, contracts, agreements, promises, or personal and marriage relationships. Wow. So anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you next month.